Shawnee. Welcome back. Today it is time for our weekly roundup where I take a look at all of the eyeshadow palettes I used over the past week and I rank them from least liked to most liked. Now typically I do like all of the palettes, but for one reason or another I might like one better than the other during that week. This week we have 7 slots and 8 palettes. If you've been here before, you know that sometimes I like to combine multiple palettes to create a look, and so that is what we have going on today, but I put them into one slot. You get what I'm saying. Okay, so why don't we go ahead and get started. Number 7 is the Colored Raine Rebellious Nudes palette. Now, I used this to do a super quick look. It was like one shimmer and like 1 or 2 mattes on my way to dinner with my neighbor. We went to this Cuban restaurant and I had empanadas and I had pollo salteado and it was so good. Whew. Shoot, I should have ordered that tonight. It was so good. I love that restaurant. But I really was tired that day because it was the day after a presentation that I gave and I just wanted to throw something on really quickly and I wanted something neutral, quick and easy, and that is what I got with this Rebellious Nudes palette from Colored Raine. Number 6 is a gift, and that is the Nomad Verona Amore e Morte palette, and this was sent to me by the brand just as like a one-time gift, which is super nice. And it has 2 sides. You can see that the palette opens up like a book, so it is a bit of a larger palette. You've got the Amore side, which is love, and you've got the Morte side, which is death. And it is based on the Romeo and Juliet play. Now, I enjoyed using this palette. I think the looks came out so beautifully. One thing is that I do prefer the shimmers in the other 2 Nomad palettes that I have. I have Hudson Valley and Cartagena Mágica. I like the shimmers in those. They give a bit more of a punch. The shimmers in the Amore e Morte palette to me are more of like toppers. They're a little bit thinner. They still on the eye in a look gorgeous, but I will say that I like the shimmers better in those other 2 palettes. This feels a little bit like a different formula. Did like the looks a lot though that I did, and I did one look on each eye with each side. If you do want this palette, it is out. Be sure to go to Nomad's website to purchase it and make sure that you use a discount code from someone. I know Jan has a discount code, Dion Loves Makeup, and I believe Yachty Beauty also has a discount code. So make sure you go to their channels and visit their videos, and I'm sure they will tell you about their code in there. Now, number 5 is the palette that I used in doing my work at home. Doing my makeup at work video, and that is the Lethal Cosmetics Alchemy and Hysteria palette. Now, this is one that's sort of it's a pre-made bundle that they put together, and I went ahead and popped out some of the singles and put them into a magnetic palette, took it to work with me. What is happening with my ability to pronounce and enunciate? I don't know. So I took some of the singles out, took them with me to work, and I did a look. I had a bit of this purple, and then I also used this shade here sort of in the inner corner, and it really gave a nice kind of pop to the look that was a little unexpected. It was really cool. And that is at number 5. Number 4 is Pat McGrath. You know, she shows up every week. This is the Voyeuristic Vixen palette. I would say that this is my favorite quad of hers. I, again, wanted something quick and easy, but also this was what I wore the day I did my presentation. The presentation was on trauma-informed care, and it was for therapists who are learning to provide care that is trauma-focused, trauma-informed, and I didn't want my eye look to be too dramatic. I really wanted people to focus on what I was saying, not how gorgeous I was looking. But I went ahead and used this palette. I used like 2 of the shades and came up with a really nice pretty look, and it was very appropriate in my opinion for like a work sort of setting. This is probably the quad that I reach for most when I do want a work look that's really nice and beautiful, and that was number 4. Who is... Ooh, my order is here. Girl, let me go grab my beef bowl. I'll be right back. Okay, girl. So, palette number 3 is another quad, and it is from Charlotte Tilbury, and it is the Fire Rose quad. This was one that was limited edition, and I actually think this was my first Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadow purchase. Now, for the look I did, I used these 2 shimmers here along with the matte, and came out with a really, really nice, pretty, soft, yet kind of bold look. And this is what I wore for work the other day. It was like yesterday. And I really enjoyed it. I liked the way that the shades show up on my eyes. I also went ahead and used her Pillow Talk Cheek palette, and that everything just went seamlessly together. It was really, really pretty, really nice. And I do believe I got compliments on it. I got compliments like all the time. Anyway, so I really enjoyed this. Every time I use Charlotte Tilbury products, I remember how much I enjoy Charlotte Tilbury products. The only thing, and me and my friend Tracy agree, is that she has not gotten foundation quite right. The undertones, I don't know what's happening. But once she gets that all together, girl, I will certainly do a full face of Charlotte Tilbury, darling. Now, number 2. This was an all matte look using the Cool Mattes palette from Viseart. Now, this is one of their older palettes. You can see it is in their older packaging. Their newer packaging has more rounded edges, and the pans are magnetic. You can pop them out and rearrange things. I really was surprised by how much I loved this look. Typically, I like to have a shimmer on the eye, but ever so often, I like to do just a completely matte look. And I used, gosh, like 2 or 3 shades. I know I used these 2 here, and then I think I might have used one of these on top just to blend things out a little bit. But it was such a nice, pretty look. I really enjoyed it. And it was just a couple of shades. It was a nice, cool matte look, and that typically is not something that I would wear, but still I loved it, and that's why it is at number 2. Now, number 1 is actually on my eyes today. This is a combination, so 2 palettes is what I use for this look today, and I actually did this look while I was in a meeting, so I did not know how it was going to turn out because I was talking and doing my makeup at the same time. The 2 palettes that I used, the first one is the Plain Jane Remastered palette from Adept Cosmetics. I went ahead and used some of the shades in here, and I paired it with the mattes from Terra Moon's Cosmetics Cosmic Wanderer palette. Now, these went so well together using those duo and multi-chromes from the Plain Jane palette along with the mattes from the Terra Moon's palette. They just went together so well, and I really like the look that I have today. It feels very bold and bright. It's super like extraterrestrial, right? Anyway, so that's it, and I have to go now eat my food because I'm hungry, and it got here early, girl. I didn't feel like cooking tonight. I never feel like cooking, so there's that. I hope that some of this was helpful, and I also hope that you are continuing to take care of yourself. Let me know what palettes or singles you have used this week. Be sure to like the video, and also please feel free to subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.